Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, friends. On the CNBC website, you can see the Dow futures are up 0.33%, S&P futures are up a healthy 0.49%, and Nasdaq futures are up even healthier at 0.86%. So this is all a good sign going ahead. However, there is the only one thing that is really bothering me, that is this erratic presidency south of the border in the United States. That seems to be a bit of a risk factor for the global economy as well as for the United States, because all these kind of tariff talks and the dysfunction that seems to be happening in various government departments with the latest air crash and statements coming out at hearings and all that, it's going to reduce the power of US dollar as a reserve currency, in my opinion, when it's already being challenged. And you can see the gold price very high. So we're going to talk about all these things in our video today. Let's look at our economic calendar, the way it unfolded during the week. On Tuesday, we saw durable good orders month over month looking weaker, and that was a weak Q. And then the Fed decided not to change the interest rate at this point of time. And we had the next day, on Thursday, GDP growth numbers coming below consensus estimation, and that showed a bit of weakness. Jobless number, however, contradicted. It came better than expected, and I would say that we can't rely too much on this because this could get revised later on. And of course, core PCE numbers are expected today, and this will give us a better idea of where we are going. So far, what we have seen is the weakness is far outweighing the strength, and we got to wait for the new readings for personal income and personal spending and core PCE price index. These all are going to come in at around 8:30 a.m. We'll watch the market sentiment at that time and see what happens. But right now, if we go on to our Nasdaq futures and have a look at the futures, we can see that Nasdaq futures are up 0.80%, and they have been steadily going up in the last 4 days. Each of these candles is a one-day candle. The bottom of this wedge, which is this diagonal green line, has held up very consistently and provided us a lot of support. And I can see that our resistance is still at 22079.75. As you can see, I have now introduced a pink line out here, which is the 21-day exponential moving average. And you'll see that the bears had pushed us further away from this 21-day moving average. And then the following week, the bulls pushed us further away and even tried to check the resistance of all-time high, just below the all-time high, and they were pushed back down again. But this time the bears were not able to push us much further from the 21-day exponential, and the bulls have been able to push it further up. So I'm thinking that on balance, the bulls are stronger than the bears at this point of time. So I'm thinking that we will probably see the all-time high coming back in Nasdaq. So that's one theory that I have out here. And then if we look at our 10-year yields, the 10-year yields are going down, and they are below the diagonal line of support of the previous bear channel in which we were. We are being pushed down from there today. As you can see, there is a wick out here which pierces this diagonal line of resistance, but we are still below that. And MACD is also bearish, momentum is also weak. So if we continue to stay below this level, I think that bodes well for our stock market. Dow Jones is looking pretty good and all set to challenge the all-time high at 45,061. MACD momentum, everything is looking good. 500 index, S&P 500 index is looking pretty decent. It gained 0.53% yesterday. Pre-market also we saw it was positive, and we have the resistance out here at 6092.01, and potentially we are likely to challenge that today. Russell index is also looking pretty decent. We have a very slim trading range in the pre-market action. We are up 0.24%, but I'm liking the structure that is being formed here, and we still have strong support at 226.63. And again, if you look at this pink line out here, it is the support that we have. And so far, the bulls have been able to prevail, even though the bears tried very valiantly at least 2 times. So I'm still hopeful that IWM will continue to be positive today. Next, let us look at put call ratio. It's looking pretty bullish to me at this point of time. The VIX is also looking benign. Right now we are at 15.24, so there's plenty of resistance out here, so VIX likely to stay low today. Gold has already crossed the all-time high. Taken along with the way the yields are going, it seems that there are alternative investments that are attracting money away from the bonds. So I think that just like gold got the money, Bitcoin, crypto, as well as stock markets will get the money, and everything should be looking up today. And with that said, let's go and have a look at our watch lists. Now let's take a quick look at our AI watch list and see what's happening out here. Google, as predicted yesterday, is gone above this diagonal line of resistance of the bull flag, which is a very big positive for us. And today it's opening higher at 0.41% in pre-market action. Sounds good, plenty of room on the RSI. And I think Google is kind of determining the direction of the market, in my opinion. When I look at my watch list, because that's my very first stock, I'm starting to feel good about this. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla is marginally up 0.13%, still struggling to break through this horizontal line of resistance at 418.47. That's going to be a very critical test. And after that, we have another resistance, which is going to be at 433. Tesla has a lot of headwinds right now. We'll see what happens when the market opens. It's still below the 21-day exponential moving average. However, it is bullish because it's above the 200-day exponential, but the gap is closing very soon, and there's a huge gap up out here which needs to be filled up. So we'll see what happens as we go ahead, because I do not think that the earnings were good, even though the market is cheering it. So something strange is happening out here. I wouldn't be surprised if we come and test 255 in the near term. Apple is up 4.04% in pre-market trades. It was down 0.74% yesterday, but still well above the 21-day and the 200-day exponential moving averages. So I'm saying that it's still very bullish. We have this diagonal bull channel out here, which is way below. MACD is also bullish, so everything is looking good for Apple. Meta is up 0.68%, one of the strongest stocks in the Mag 7. And we can see MACD is very bullish. Momentum is overbought, but it has still not reached the levels that it usually turns around in the past. And that is going to be at 77.85 on the RSI scale. So I think that there is a little more juice left in Meta for today. And then we look at Amazon, which is up 0.86%, regaining most of the losses it had yesterday. Again, it's still in a firmly bullish channel, so I won't be worried too much about it. It's also got support at 233.14 and also the support of the bull channel and the 21-day exponential moving average. So overall bullish. Microsoft is up 1%. It took a huge beating yesterday of around 6.18% after having a huge gap down the day before, and it's well below its 21-day exponential moving average and the 200-day exponential moving average. But the pre-market action has taken it above the 200-day exponential moving average, so that makes it bullish in my opinion. Let us see how the market unfolds today. I'm thinking that Microsoft is on the mend. I don't think that Microsoft should have dropped so much. We still have to validate the DeepSeek information that we got, and I do not believe that such great performance can be had with primitive chips. There is more to this story than we have heard. I already bought Microsoft long, MSFL, and I still hold all my Microsoft. I'm bullish on Microsoft, let's put it that way. Nvidia is down 1.34% after gaining 0.77% yesterday. However, it is still above the 200-day exponential moving average, so I'm not going to get too much worried about this. As the DeepSeek information fades and as the talks from the government about expanding the chip restriction fades, I think we will see Nvidia doing better. And friends, I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say and give your feedback on this. I think when it comes to Trump, he makes a lot of statements, but he doesn't follow through. It's all positioning. And even if he follows through, he's quick to revise it if he sees something bad happening. Take the case of the funding freeze, right? So I'm thinking that he's not going to do anything about these chips. The existing restrictions will be left in place. I don't think any new restrictions are going to come into play. Probably tightening it further to identify firms which may have supplied chips for DeepSeek, if it happens that DeepSeek is using H100 and much more superior chips, then that's one action that could probably come out. So I think Nvidia would be a buying opportunity. I would buy it much closer to the 200-day exponential at 119.89, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Please put it in the comment section. Qualcomm is up 1.29% in pre-market action. AMD is up 0.57%. FNGU, which reflects Mag7, or sorry, the FANGs, FANG stocks is up $16.02, which is around 2.58% in pre-market action, which I think is pretty good. And we have Broadcom also up 1.51% in pre-market action, more than the 4.51 it already jumped yesterday. However, it is still above the 21-day exponential. I want it to jump above that. Of course, I am thinking that the gap down that we had is going to act as a magnet, and then we'll challenge the resistance at 249.45. Oracle is up 0.22% after jumping 5.16% yesterday. It also faced a huge gap down, the DeepSeek effect, and I think we are above the 21-day exponential moving average, so I'm positive about it today. Next, Palantir is up 0.07%. It's very close to its all-time high. Going up further, it's going to take a lot of efforts, and we have earnings around the corner on 3rd of February 2025 after hours, so I expect consolidation for Palantir. And we have Micron Technology, which is down 0.83% in pre-market trades. Cloudflare is up 1.50% in pre-market trades. And we have Adobe, which is up 0.76% in pre-market trades, well above the 21-day exponential moving average. The question is, are we going to have a turnaround? Is this gap down going to be attracting as a magnet and pulling it upwards? MACD is looking good. Momentum is above average. We still have to cross the 200-day exponential moving average. But to me personally, it seems like Adobe has made some kind of a turnaround, and if I consider this to be a cup and handle pattern, I think we are going to go very close to this gap down, and then all bets are off, because that's going to be a huge resistance out there and the attraction of the gap down, so we don't know what's going to happen. Next, we have SMCI, which is up 0.42% in pre-market action. ARM holding is up 0.49% in pre-market action. ASML is up 2.04% in pre-market action. Still below the 200-day exponential, but above the 21-day. So I'm thinking that we are in for a rebound for ASML, and our next test is going to be the resistance at 889.49. I'm going to mark that red so that we remember that. There are other resistances also on the way. I'll plot them as we go closer to them, but right now I would say that ASML is looking good. Intel is up 0.85% in pre-market trades, but still below the 21-day exponential moving average. Next, we look at AV, which is up 0.01% in pre-market trades, still consolidating, and I think that there is potential for AV to go up further because it's above the 21-day exponential. It just needs to cross the 200-day exponential moving average and also cover this gap down. Once that happens, we are in for a good show. Next, looking at Snowbird, it's up 1.82% in pre-market trades. HBI, Hainesbrand International, is up 5.08% as of yesterday, but no trades pre-market. And Netflix is up 0.39% today in pre-market trades, still consolidating in a range above there. The gap up acting as a magnet. And then we come to Rigetti, which is up 0.57% in pre-market trades, still consolidating just above the 21-day exponential moving average. The moment it drops below that, I'll be concerned. Well, that brings me to an end of today's video. I think overall today looks to be bullish. All the fear is slowly disappearing from the market. Yields are down. Gold is at an all-time high. I think we are going to look at much more positives for this weekend. Also, we have options expiries coming up for Friday. So I think overall, I'm positive about today. I think Microsoft is going to regain a little bit of lost ground today. That's all I have to say. I'd like to hear from you guys. Put your comments below and give me some feedback on how you're looking at the market, what you're thinking for next week. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.